Greetings, class.
Okay, today me and Aiden are going to be talking about the Mexican-American border. And to start, a little bit about the border. So the border was not built in like a sense of where it was just like big building of a wall in one day. And it's been like an ongoing construction throughout history. And it's pretty much started in the starting like building of the wall, not wall, but border, started in 1846 and it's still being improved and worked on today. And so a little history about the border is the birth of the border is actually because of the Mexican-American War. During that war, it took place during the 1840s, early 1840s, and towards the end of the war, during the end actually, the Treaty of Guadalupe, Hidalgo, I think is how it goes, which is the treaty that ended the war and established that the Rio Grande was the border of Texas and Mexico. So that's how that part of the border was established. And then in the 1850s, the U.S. purchased an additional land from Mexico, southern Arizona and southwest New Mexico, to establish railroad construction for traveling goods and other stuff across America, like from California, like probably gold.
Yeah, I'd assume Mexico, California,
Gold,
that area.
yeah.
Pretty popular for gold.
And then, so that is kind of what established the border as we know today. And the border now, from the Pacific Ocean to the Gulf of Mexico, stretches roughly 1,954 miles across a diverse landscape, including urban areas, deserts, rivers, and mountains, where there are 19 million people that live in the border territory.
Yeah, it's coming from like all the way from California, all the way to the bottom right corner of Texas, and a little town El Paso. I wouldn't say it's a little town, but I don't even know the size of it, but all the way to California to El Paso.
There's 19 million people that are affected. Not affected, but live in border territory. And so most people think that there's like the wall was just like the big wall was started on day one, but actually the first technical border, like the wall, like the first day, like after the Treaty of.
Oh yeah, I follow you now.
Yeah. The wall was actually just a livestock fence for a long time, and then the most recent years, during the Reagan administration, they started putting more secure barriers and boundaries in high traffic areas, like urban areas.
Yep.
And to prevent unauthorized crossing. And that's pretty much a little bit of history and about the Mexican-American border. The next thing we're going to talk about is our stances on the border and what we believe in about the border. So Aiden's going to talk about his stance first.
My stance is I think the American southern border is a good thing, obviously. Keeps all the immigrants out, the cartel, the drugs, of course. I think it needs to be more secure. I think that really falls on our government right now. I mean, we'll talk about it in a little bit. We got a big chart talking about the last like 20 years or so. Yeah, I really think it falls on our government. I think we need a stronger, more secure border.
Yeah, I definitely think that we shouldn't have like a open, free range border. I definitely think that the wall is a really good idea, just to keep out not like drugs, cartel, and just unsafe people and stuff like that, which is really helpful to monitor that. And I think that it's a really good thing that we have in America.
Yeah, I talk about drugs, like right now it's super popular with the cartel and the drugs coming in. It's huge because in the last 4 years they've had like 10 million different illegal immigrants come in, and we got we got so many drugs. Talking about like Portland, Oregon, big drug house of America. Drugs coming all the way up there, and then just recently, I don't know how recent actually, but Georgia, this girl who got killed by the cartel who came across our American southern border. But,
Yeah, I mean, stuff like
tragic.
that is just, we don't need that in America, and having a stricter law and watch on the southern border will definitely help reduce the chances of drugs and stuff scenarios like the cartel coming over and murdering people and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. One thing that we saw about the border like today is BBC News estimated around 6,000 to 12,000 illegal immigrants coming around today in like the last 4 years we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was coming from the BBC News.
Yeah, and that adds up over a long period of time.
Yeah.
And just like from what's coming in and even who's coming in can affect America.
Yeah, what and who's coming in.
Yeah. So opposing stance that one could say is that opening up the Mexican-American border will bring like new opportunity to people who are trying to like escape stuff like that. But there's ways that you can get out of that legally and become like a legal American citizen and do it the right way instead of
for sure
like crossing illegally and bringing, I don't know. Yeah.
To come off that, a lot of people say all these immigrants come in helping us with our economy. Part of that's true, but here's the downfall, in my opinion. In the next 10 years, me, Jack, classmates, you're gonna want to buy a house, right? And you got all these legal immigrants coming in, and they're taking all of our homes. Prices for homes skyrocketed in the last 4 years. I mean, like 2016 to 2020, we had the lowest costs on housing
Yeah.
in a long time. I couldn't put an exact date to it, but yeah, there's stuff like that. That's like these immigrants coming in is just not really helping much.
Yeah, and I mean, you could say that they're taking jobs and stuff like that,
Yeah.
which so many people are on unemployment and stuff like that. It's so hard to find jobs and
Yeah, a lot.
Today's
Also,
world.
yeah, a lot of these immigrants are taking our jobs. I saw a stat the other day. I don't even remember where I saw it. These immigrants who have jobs. Oh wow, I'm blanking. It just came to my head and now it's gone. Keep talking about the next thing.
So I have to go off of like some talk about immigrants and image. So one thing I found out was
I remember.
okay. Well, time out and come back to that. Come back to this.
All right, so I remember. Yeah, I saw a stat of these legal immigrants coming in. About like 85 to something around there. Like 85% of them are using food stamps. They're also taking our food upon our housing, our jobs. It's just a really bad thing that's happening.
Just like low income housing and people. There's a lot more low income immigrants that are what's the word that I'm thinking of? They're taking up opportunities for
opportunities,
and,
resources,
Yeah.
the roofs over our head. It's just a bad thing.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna talk about like what's happening.
Yeah, the
Right
future.
now.
And,
Future
and
coming
kind of right now.
day one of Donald Trump's presidency. He was talking about probably 2 weeks ago. He says it's for sure happening day one. He's gonna start his mass deportation. I mean, we've kind of heard about this in the past like few months or so that he's gonna really just day one kick in all illegal aliens out of our country. And he said it's going to be like the biggest deportation
Since he was last in office.
Yeah,
When
I
he
mean-
deported, it says about 350,000 people.
Yeah,
that he deported.
now it's going to be millions, he says. Yeah, I mean, like when Barack Obama was president, it says he had 432,000 deportations, and Trump's going to have millions more. I mean,
Yeah.
it's looking bright for our
He's
future.
really planning on locking down on this problem and the
Yep.
situation that America is in right now, and really going to work hard towards that. And that's one thing that should be a good outlook for America.
For sure.
Um.
You want to go up to that little graph?
Yeah.
I'll
So.
talk about it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So we're looking at a graph here. I'll just flip the camera and kind of show what I'm looking at here. This graph, we're looking at from 2000 to 2024 right up here. So you can see here's about the 2 million line coming across here. And right in here, this is where Donald Trump's it's a little blurry. Donald Trump's presidency.
We can put the graph on over the camera if we just edited it.
Yeah, sure.
We can just talk about it.
Yeah, for sure. Anyways, like I was saying, we're looking at an all-time low during Donald Trump's presidency. And yeah, it's just looking real bright. Right in there with Barack Obama is looking real bright. And then all of a sudden, the Biden-Harris administration hits. We're up to an all-time high at
2.5 million immigrants
Yeah.
entered in 2023, and
I mean, in that 4-year span, we had 10 million come in, which is terrible. I mean, it's really just affecting all of us. I mean, not so much me and Jack right now, but in the future when we're trying to buy a home, it's really affecting us. I really think it's fallen out on like Kamala Harris. Joe Biden tasked her with securing the southern border, and he also tasked her with it's like voting opportunity rights or something like that. There's a third one. I couldn't really tell you. I really think that's the reason why. I mean, not the main reason, of course. There's many other reasons why Donald Trump won the presidency this time around. But one of the big ones is one of 3 tasks she had was to secure the American southern border, and all of a sudden we're at an all-time high. We got drugs coming in.
cartel.
Yep,
Yes.
it just wasn't looking good, and that's really why I think that Donald Trump won this time around.
Yeah, definitely the role that she took on it's definitely a hard role to take on, and definitely securing a border that's almost 2,000 miles long.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not an easy task, but at the same time, you also gotta take that step and continue what, compared to 2021 or 2020, pretty much one of the lowest years we've had in a long time. Taking that step and keeping it going is definitely something she did not succeed at. And
yeah, I mean, I think where it all started from was when we're at an all-time low in 2020. She signed off on, I couldn't put an exact number to it, but she signed off on a bunch of things that Trump put down, signed off, taking these away, and all of a sudden we're at an all-time high. Like, Kamala, what happened? Yeah, it's just
definitely not an easy role to take on, but still something you need to lock down on and make sure it's secure, because it affects so many millions of people. And
yeah, I'm really interested to see what happens in our future. Like, when Donald Trump's coming back in, like we all know, we had the lowest in American history. I wonder what the future's gonna be like. Is it gonna get lower than what it was?
yeah, I mean, you can't really say right now what it's going to be, because obviously it's in the future.
I mean,
but
with these mass deportations, though, I mean,
I definitely think that it will,
it's going down for sure.
definitely bring down the amount of immigrants that will come in, and
Question is how much.
Yeah, you just never know with what they're gonna do and how they're gonna do it. But
all right, my phone ran out of storage, but we're back. We're gonna hit on that opposite side of what we're talking about again.
just to wrap it up.
Yeah, to really wrap up this last little 2 minutes we got here. Economic growth, I could see some positive stuff coming out of that.
Definitely
entrepreneurship, culture diversity, demographic benefits, filling skill gaps. But like, here's a good analogy. Here you're holding a bunch of weight. What's weighing you down more? All this like little side stuff, or the drugs and the cartel and
just like the
cost of
negative.
living with all these immigrants in our country. I mean, I think this is just weighing you down so much more.
Yeah, I think definitely there's more negatives that come out of an open border compared to a closed border, and I just think it'd be best if we work toward a closed border and to have more benefit to America. So we're gonna hit on a few a few of these points. Economic growth. Yes, this would be good, but I feel like the economy is always changing, and there's always going to be room for growth no matter what. I mean, with technology and just the way that there's new businesses being formed every day, and that definitely is also another impact that helps the economy grow.
Culture diversity.
Culture diversity, yeah. I mean, America is one of the highest, most diverse nations ever.
Yeah, in the world, ever.
And
I mean, I don't think there's going to be much change if some more Mexicans come into our country. I don't think it's going to change our culture diversity much, but yeah, for sure. I think, then again, I think all the other stuff's just weighing you down so much more than these other side little deals we got going on.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, that's our little presentation podcast deal.
Yep.
Thanks for watching, and Thomas, we hope you're not sleeping.
Yep. Wake up, Thomas.
It is more of a diverse culture, and America is one of the most diverse countries in the nation.
Yeah.
And
Countries
in the world.
in the nation.
Oh my God.
Wow. You hear that? Countries in the nation.
Oh my God, cut that.
No, we're gonna keep going.